Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern, and we are going to talk about how to evaluate health and fitness information that you find online, because there's a lot of it, and most of it probably doesn't apply to you. But before we do that, we're going to talk real quick about reminding you to subscribe to my channel. If you already subscribed, make sure you click the bell so you're notified when I have new videos that come out. And most importantly, this is something that I heard somebody on another podcast say, and I'm going to completely steal it. Okay. I have a social contract. I'm giving you this information, and what I want you to do is pay it forward, social obligation to share this information with somebody else, because it may help somebody that you care about improve their quality of life and health and fitness. Okay. So please share it. And with that, let's talk about information. There's a lot of information. There's information from all sorts of places. You can get it all over the place. Okay. The most common place, I think, is social media. And unfortunately, social media is probably the worst place to get information, because a couple things. One, we tend to look for things we already agree with. So when it comes to learning new information, it can be a challenge sometimes, because we're only following things that already fit within our bubble and our sphere of comprehension. So we have to figure out a way to go outside that, which can be a real challenge on social media. The other thing with social media is that there's no way. It's very hard to vet and go through this process of evaluation with people who are calling themselves health and fitness professionals. Okay, because there's a difference between a health and fitness professional and an influencer and someone who's just sharing their story. Right? There's different layers to why people are putting information out there, what they're trying to accomplish for themselves or for other people. Um, and the motivations and all of those things come into play. So, oh my gosh, where do we even start? Let's start with why you're looking for information. Okay. And there's probably layers to this. There's probably a lot of different other reasons, but I'm just going to sum it down and say there's probably two reasons why you're looking for information on the internet about health and fitness. Okay. The first one I'm going to say is because you have something in your life that you're looking to change, and you want information about what that should be and how to do it. Okay. The second one is maybe you don't have anything that you want to change necessarily right now, but you're looking to increase your knowledge and education about the topics of health and fitness that interest you. Okay. Whether you want to take action on it or not, there are things that you're interested in, and you want to learn more about how health and fitness and nutrition and all this stuff actually even works. Okay. So the reason I say that this is important is because it's going to change how you evaluate the information you're looking at. Okay. So when you're looking to make a change and you're looking for information that will help you do something and achieve a goal or reach some kind of accomplishment in your life, you have to evaluate everything with the first question of, what am I trying to do? And is this going to help me? Okay. If you're just looking for information, then the evaluation is a little bit less stringent, because you're not actually going to apply it to anything, and it's not going to potentially completely screw you up. Okay. It's just information that's going to help you maybe further understand things you've already done or mistakes that you've already made, or potentially help you keep you from making mistakes down the road if something comes up that you've taken the time to study and learn about. So it's a little bit more stringent if you're actually looking to make a change. Then the criteria and the numbers of things that you're looking at need to be much more precise. If you're just looking for information, we can take a load off a little bit there and just look at information for what it is and try to see what makes sense to us and how things fit into the big picture. Okay. So what we're going to focus on tonight is specifically, if you're looking to make a change in your life, how do you evaluate information? Okay. And there are models out there for evaluating information. There's a lot of stuff we can get into about the validity of scientific studies and the difference between laboratory research and clinical studies and clinical data and epidemiology and all. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not going to talk about that. Okay. That would be hours and hours of discussion about things that would make all of you fall asleep. Okay. I would be talking and I would probably fall asleep. Okay. So what we are going to talk about is some of the practical things that you can do using your own critical thinking, using your own common sense, and using some of the things that you can fairly easily figure out and find about the sources of information and the information itself that you are looking to potentially use in your own life. Okay. So the first thing we want to talk about is, and just a little background, this whole idea for this talk kind of came to me when I was talking to someone on the fitness side of the house. And they said, I got this written down, when I started running, okay, they had been pretty sedentary their whole lives. They started doing some things for fitness. They got into running. They started running long-term, one of my clients. And she said, when I started running, I didn't get hurt until I started listening to other runners about how to train for running. Okay. So I thought that was pretty profound, right? She started running. Instead of going to a professional, instead of going to good sources of information, she went to other runners who just thought they knew what they were doing because what they were doing was working for them. She started doing what they were doing, and that's when she got hurt. All right. So just something to keep in mind. And that got me thinking about the loads of information, the millions of people that are out there looking for information about keto, about fitness, about weight loss and fat loss, about body composition, about improving metabolic health, about building strength, about improving quality of life and longevity. All of these things have so many different aspects, and so many different people are in so many different places. And the information that's applicable to any one person is a dart throw for most people to find the thing that's going to fit their specific circumstance and do what they need done at that moment. Okay, so that's what got me thinking about this. So one of the things I want you to think about first, the information that you're looking at, and we're talking primarily because I think most people, like I said, get their information from social media. They follow people, they have groups that they're members of on Facebook primarily, okay, or maybe Reddit or WhatsApp or something like that. Okay, Clubhouse is another one. There's a lot of group apps and group tools where people have a tendency to go do what we call crowdsource information, right? I have a question. I'm going to go ask this group of 5,000 people and get information, get a response to this question. Hopefully, either one of the suggestions sounds good to me, or enough people say the same thing that that's the one I'm going to pick and I'm going to try. Okay. Those are not the most effective ways to figure out what's going to work for you in your circumstance. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. Not talking about if you're spending time researching studies, if you're going out there reading books, that's a different discussion. We're talking more about the process of vetting information from social media and mass communications than you doing your own serious research and study. Different conversation. Okay. So for the most part, when you're getting information from groups or you're seeing things from influencers, okay, the first thing I want you to ask yourself is this information complete in what it's telling you? Is it more than just I got skinny doing this, or I got skinny eating this, or is it more than sensationalism, or is it actually giving you the who, what, when, where, and why about the process that they're saying is going to help? Okay. Most of the time, if the information is half there or it's sensationalized, okay, then I would take it with a grain of salt, and I would either completely ignore it or dig a little further and find out maybe there's a link in the text. And Instagram, sometimes you can't put a lot of information in there, so there's a link. You go follow up and see if there's more information. Maybe there's a video to watch that has more information. Find out if the complete set of information is there, yes or no. Okay. Does the information include the how and the why, or just the what happened because they're trying to get your attention? Okay. If it's just the what happened and then they try to sell you something, you can kind of, this isn't really helpful. Okay. It doesn't give me anything that I can actually use or verify that this is actually going to do. Doesn't explain what the mechanism in my body is. It doesn't help me understand how much of X, Y, or Z to do, any of that kind of stuff. Okay. If it's just, this has happened, it's awesome, do what I do, and then I can sell it to you. Sorry, it's probably not something that's going to be beneficial to you. Okay. Here's another one. Does it pass the smell test? Okay. Does it make sense to you based on your knowledge of where you are right now? Does it make sense? Does it make sense that someone can just drink pickle juice and be healthy and lose fat? Okay, sure. Let's say that happens. Okay. Does that seem like a common sense thing to do? Just drink pickle juice or just eat cabbage soup, or I don't know, what are some other crazy diet? The urine diet. Okay. Yes, I'm going to go there, right? Does the urine diet, okay, supposedly it's a thing, detox your body by drinking all the stuff your body just got rid of. But anywho, is that something that sounds like common sense that you would want to try to improve your health and fitness? Okay. If the answer is no, which that one definitely would be no, okay, then don't do it. You probably is not something you want to try. Okay. Maybe you lock it in your head. Maybe you keep an eye on it. Maybe more information comes out, because oftentimes these two things go together: lack of information and common sense. Most of the time, if something doesn't make sense, partly it's because, yeah, right, Lana? Partly it's because all of the information is not available. Okay. Or there's some information being held back for some reason. Okay. So it's just something to think about. Yes, guys, I went there. Sorry. Um, all right, so that's the second thing, common sense. Does it pass the smell test? Now, one caveat on the common sense thing. This goes back to something that I said a little earlier, okay? If you are only following and looking at things that are in your current comprehension, in your current realm of belief, then you're not going to often find things that don't make sense to you, okay? So the common sense criteria that you're looking for has more application when you decide to go outside the realm of comfortable information and you start looking for new things to change or grow in your understanding of health and fitness. Okay. That's where the common sense piece comes into play. If you're already in your sphere of influence, if you're already in your sphere of comprehension, then that's not going to come into play as much. But it does definitely come into play when you go outside that, because not only does it need to make sense, but you also have to have that little filter there that says this doesn't make sense to me. Does it not make sense because I don't understand, because this is something new for me? And then being willing to go dig a little bit and understand the concept before you completely say, nope, that's way off base. There's no way that's going to happen. Okay. One thing that you're going to find throughout this whole process, okay, the whole process of evaluating information in order for you to apply that information to make changes and build a plan to change your life, okay, doesn't work if you don't take responsibility to do the work to make sure that it works. You follow that? You've got to do the work to make sure that it works. Okay. So if you have a question about something, if something piques your interest, if you think maybe that could work, you need to go find out more information about it. You need to go through these steps and verify the source, verify the information, see if it's got reproducible results, things like that. If we'll go through the rest of the list. Okay. The responsibility is on you. Okay. You have to go there and be willing to open your mind and learn things that may be different than what you already know. All right. So when we talk about common sense, even if you don't understand it, the question to ask there is, does the explanation, assuming that there is an explanation, does the explanation seem plausible? If it does it warrant further investigation? If it does, then go investigate further. Okay. Third thing, and this potentially the most important thing, because this is where that dart throw I was talking about comes into play, where most people that I talk to miss the mark big time. Okay. They take information, they see the results that X person had, and then they want to try to do what that person did, even though that person has absolutely nothing in common with them from an experience, from a health perspective, from a background, from a fitness level, from their past nutrition habits, none of it. Okay. If you are going to apply information to your life, you need to first make sure that the information is relevant to your current situation and where you want to go. Okay. Relevant to your current situation and where you want to go. Ideally, we can throw in there your past situations, your current situation, and where you want to go. Okay. If you can find someone who said, I used to be 100 pounds, I was pre-diabetic, I had IBS, and I used to eat French fries all the time. And then I got into CrossFit, and then I found carnivore. Okay. That's my story, right? If I could find someone, if I was in the middle of that process and I found someone who had the first three things in a row, just like I did, I'm going to listen to that person. I'm not going to listen to the person who says, I was an athlete in high school and in college, and then I got a job working, and I gained some weight, and I wanted to get ripped. And now I'm a model, and this is what I do to stay in shape. That's not applicable to me. That means absolutely nothing. It doesn't help because none of that stuff is where I was or where I am or where I'm going. Right? That's awesome, Rachel. 3 months of research. That's fantastic. Everybody needs to do that stuff, right? I saw somebody I was talking to, or I saw somebody said recently, I heard in my brain that, when we are buying a house and we want to research the market, when we're buying a car and we want to research different cars and finance options, when we're investing and we do research on the prospectuses and the different stocks and things and mutual funds, whatever it is that we want to buy into. When we take the time to do all of those things, we're considered smart. We're considered, evaluating opportunities, and we're wise in the decision of doing the research. But for some reason, when we take that same amount of time and we research what we want to do to improve our quality of life physically and mentally and for our health, if we choose something that other people wouldn't have chosen, then all of a sudden now we're crazy, we're being restrictive, we have disordered eating, or who knows, whatever else they want to call it. Okay. If you're doing the research and you make a decision that this is what's going to work for me and it's working, then applause, golf clap, more power to you. Keep it up. Right. That's what this is all about, taking ownership of your life. Okay. All right. So relevance to your situation. Okay. Most Instagram, most social media, fitness professionals, influencers are not living the lifestyle, number one, that you think they're living, number one. Number two, most of them are not giving you tools to actually help you improve your quality of life, because most people on social media are about looking good. They are about the aesthetic value of a fit look, not a fit life. Very, very big difference. Okay. So please evaluate where you're getting your information from on social media, in these groups, from the lifestyle that people are presenting or not presenting, that they're living. Okay. Not what you just see on the surface. Okay. The idea of what influencers are living versus what they're showing is a talk that I'll probably do another time. I actually did a video the other day that I want to redo because I had some stuff I wanted to add to it. Okay. I'll just say influencers' lives, people that are on Instagram and that is their sole, their job, that's what they do. That's their passion, whatever it may be. Most of the time, the transparency of how they actually live their lives is not what they show and what you see on their social media feeds. Okay. All right. Relevance to your situation. If you are a 45-year-old person, man or woman, you have not been working out, you have not been eating healthy, and you're trying to improve your health, you're trying to improve your quality of life, you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to be able to do more physical activity, then the people you should be listening to are people who are in their 40s, who are previously unhealthy, who have figured out how to eat well, how to move their bodies well, and are living their best life through health and fitness. That's who you should listen to. Okay? Just something to think about. All right. Here's another question. Is the source of your information, particularly on social media, is that source of information trustworthy? Okay. Now, there's no cut and dry here. There's no black and white. Trustworthiness, when it comes to your perception of somebody, is very much a more your perception. It's a feeling. How do you feel about this person? What do you know about this person? Everybody is going to come to a different determination of somebody's trustworthiness at a different level. Okay. So I'm not even going to give you any guidelines on how to determine if somebody is trustworthy. I'm just going to say that your level of comfort with a person's intentions should be part of your evaluation of the information that they're providing. Okay. That's really what that boils down to. Are you comfortable? Do you feel like this person is actually interested in helping people or helping you? Or does this person have an ulterior motive? Are they trying to push something? Are they just trying to put information out there to sell something? What is it? What is their motivation? And is this information actually helpful or not? Okay, something to think about. Here's a fun one. Is the source of information actually knowledgeable about the topic? Are they knowledgeable? Do they actually know what they're talking about? Okay, there's a few ways to know this. Number one, check things that they say. Again, this is on you if you want to do a little research. If I go out on my social media feed, if I come out on a YouTube video and I say X, Y, or Z, and then you can go verify that, do some research, verify what I just said. I would love if people did that, because the more people that did that, the more people would go, oh my God, he knows what he's talking about, right? If you can't verify the things that somebody is saying consistently, then you know that that information is probably not something that you should listen to regularly or even at all. Okay. So just something to keep in mind. I will say this: a person's credentials don't mean much. In some cases, they don't mean anything. Okay. When you're looking at the validity, the knowledge that somebody has, the things that you can look at is, what is their background? Have they worked in a field? Okay. For me, I've been a health and fitness coach for 10 years. I have done the work on the ground. I worked with hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands of people. Okay. There are dozens of certifications that I've had in training, and those certifications may not mean squat. They don't mean anything. Okay. But the information that I have from actually helping people and learning from the experience of being hands-on in people's presence, working with them through all of these things that I talk about, that's where my experience comes from. Okay. You will find that most people who are out here putting this information out there to try to help you get better are people that the people that you want to listen to, at least, are people that have the on the ground experience, not just the I have a degree so that I know what I'm talking about. Okay. The other side of the coin to that conversation is the knowledge and experience, but the experience brings along proven results. Okay. If you have somebody who says do this, and they've been practicing as a doctor, practicing as a trainer, practicing as a health coach, practicing as whatever it may be for X number of years, and they've helped hundreds of people, go look at the people they've helped. Go see the groups that they're in. Go read and look at the people that supposedly had life-altering changes based on what that person has done with them. Okay. There are a lot of people who have a lot of followers and a lot of clout in health and fitness who have left a trail of destruction behind them. But because of marketing, because of social media, because of name status and things like that, people think that they are great trainers and they listen to everything they say. And the more people that do that, the more people actually end up going the wrong direction. Okay. The name and the person that you're getting your information from is part of the equation. Their experience and the proven results of the people that they have worked with and the people that follow them is really where you're going to find out if that source is, and you can even throw trustworthy in there, trustworthy, knowledgeable, and has the experience for you to trust that you can do the things that they're talking about and see success. Okay. So remember, it's the person, it's the experience, it's the knowledge, and it's their results. Who have they helped? And are those people happy with the result? That's the key. Okay. And then to end, the last thing I'll talk about along with that is not just the people, but the referenceable. I don't even know if that's a word. The data that can be referenced, right? I can talk specifically to people that I have worked with specific issues, and I can provide examples of people that have dealt with X, Y, or Z issues. And this is how we fixed it using X, Y, or Z method or protocol, or the steps in the process of their training, or whatever it may be, because that experience is there. Okay. If there's nothing to that can be referred back to, then that takes that's a check mark that's not checked when it comes to, should I listen to this data or this information? Okay. So basically, guys, just a quick recap. All right. Why do you want the information? Are you going to use it? Or are you just trying to learn something? Okay. Does the information include more than just what happened? Is there a why and a how and a when and a who, right? To provide a full picture of what that information is going to do, if it's relevant to you, and how to actually implement it when it's time for you to try it. Okay. Does the information that you're looking at make sense? Okay. If it's in your wheelhouse, if it's in your sphere of comprehension, does it make sense? Maybe it's a new method or new technique on something you already understand and you want to try it. That makes sense. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe it's outside your sphere of comprehension and you need to be a little open-minded and take some additional action to go research it to find out what the mechanisms are and how it works. And does that make sense? And maybe you just learned something that you can try and see what's going to work for you. Okay. Is it relevant to your situation? Okay. If you are a 50-year-old man who's trying to get in shape so that he can go on a hike, right, in the Rocky Mountains, or maybe go hunting, I don't know, it's something that you've not been able to do because you're not physically able to do it, and you're trying to get into a position where you can go do something, then you probably shouldn't be listening to the 25-year-old wrestler on Instagram and follow his training program. It's probably not where you need to be. Okay. Or the pro football player or the ex-retired NFL football player who's now got a fitness program that he's paying someone else to develop and just put his name on it. Okay. There's so many different things out there, guys. If it's not relevant to you, then it's probably not going to work for you. Okay. Is the source trustworthy? You've got to figure that one out for yourself. Is the source knowledgeable? Experience matters more than credentials. Okay. And then the people that have been helped by this, whoever you're getting information from, are they happy with the results? Have they actually seen success? Is it proven? Is it referenceable? Can you see with your own eyeballs that the things this person's doing is helping people or not? Okay. That's what I got today, guys. Steps, things you can do to evaluate information online. Hopefully it was helpful. If there's other things, I'd love to know if there's other things you guys have thought about. Maybe there's some things we can add to this list. Add them in the comments. Things that you look at when you're looking at information, whether you think it's a good fit for you in your life. I'd love to see what other things you guys come up with. Feel free to add those in the comments. I appreciate it. As always, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please, please, please share this information out there. Okay. Share it. Hopefully it helps somebody find information that they can use to improve their quality of life too. All right. Take it easy, guys. Talk to you soon.